All right, so we're doing welcome. All right, Bobby, thumbs up. Hey guys, welcome. Have a technical difficulty. Sorry about that. Welcome everybody. Welcome to the show. As you can tell, it's our first show. I have a little technical difficulties. This is Huddle Up and Wait, the premiere episode. Thank you for tuning in. My name is Brett Legassi, and with me is Dave Stager. Dave, thanks for coming on. How are you doing today?
Man, I have had a day, went on a big, nice walk with the wife today, and now I'm burnt out. I was going to do a bunch of yard work, but I was done. It's about 98 degrees down here in Georgia. So, yeah, I'm gonna wait till tomorrow.
Yeah, up here in Delaware, it's 95, and I power washed the house mid-afternoon. That was a good idea. I'm exhausted.
More props to you, sir. Nope. I'm like a giant baked potato out there here in Georgia, being from up north, moving down here.
Yeah, I can imagine that. Although it does sound good to move south.
The taxes, everything else is better.
Oh yeah, don't tempt me. Yeah. So, anyway, guys, let's give you a little rundown of the show. This is going to be an all NFL show. Yes, Dave is a Packers guy. Jay, thanks for tuning in, sir. Josh, appreciate you.
Appreciate it, guys.
I'm a Dolphins guy. You guys probably recognize Fins Talk OT or some of the other Dolphins stuff. Dolphins Twitter, one of the most hated Tua haters, I guess. So Dave reached out to me to start this show, and I was all about it. We're both veterans. I'm an Air Force guy. You can see by my flag back there. Dave is an Army guy.
I have to, man. It's a rivalry.
I'm not going to do the ASVAB joke yet.
Hey, all right. I'll stop that.
So we're going to talk all NFL. It's going to be all everything unbiased. It's going to be uncut, unfiltered. Both of us are drinking beer. So, as the night goes on, it's going to be a little more fun.
I've got a full half keg, folks. So might go off the rails by about 45 minutes. So.
God, all right. I'm going to have to do more than 2 beers a show. Holy hell. I keep up.
No, I'm going to go slow. I just, but yeah, folks, it's like a sports bar talk room, basically.
Yeah.
So Brett and I, obviously, like he said, we're veterans. We're just talking about football, BSing at the same time. I'm just looking forward to it because I get to do it with my brother in arms. And the fact I'm obsessed with football. I know you are too. It's not just like you were the Dolphins, me or the Packers. I love football in general. I focus on the drafts. I know you do too.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, just free agency trades. I'm a nut. And people probably know me from social media because I'm like the only steak and cheese out there. And people – well, Bears fans hate me, but that's about it. But, yeah.
Well, I mean, I'm sure Jets fans hate me because I've been messing with them. Hefeweizen. Josh has asked me it's Hefeweizen. I haven't had that in years. I had that straight from Germany.
Yeah. Well, I think Josh had me on his show and we did beer, and I had Hefeweizen on when he had me. So, that's why he's dropping it, I think, because he had myself on for the show, and I asked him, like, am I good with German beer? And he goes, heck yeah.
I think last time I drank Hefeweizen, I was drinking and I was on my second beer. My buddy was on his third. I said, hold up, wait for me. And I drank my third one down. I said, I'll be with you. And I stood up. I was like, I got to pee. Don't drink one without me. I held on to that bar all the way down because those beers got me. And they only have talls in Germany. No such thing as shorts.
Oh, yeah. This is what it is in Germany, folks. It ain't these little tiny, like regular beer mugs. This is it. That's the minimum you get at the bar. So, yeah, I was told by my sergeant. Quick story. Sorry. Sergeant told me when I first got in Germany, literally the day of, don't go out. If you do, please drink regular American beer. Don't do the heavy German Hefeweizen. Well, guess what? I went ahead and had about 6 of them. Yeah, my friend was carrying me home by the time of the night to the barracks. So,
and you mix in liquor, done.
Oh yeah, we were doing shots. Oh my God!
Irish
shot, fireball. Yes, Irish car bomb, everything. Like that, because I told them it's my first night in Germany, and all the Germans were like, "Yeah, let's get him a shot." I was done. It was,
dude. Oh my God! So as you can tell, we're probably going to add some stories into the show too to make it a little interesting.
Sorry to rabbit hole it, folks. I know it's a football show.
Hey, we'll blame Josh. I'll text Josh later and yell at him for it.
Right?
No. So we have a lot of topics to talk about. A couple, obviously, with the NFL disciplinary situations going on. A lot of questions around that. A lot of hoopla been going on around that. It's some inconsistencies, and I know the NFL is trying to get better with that, but we'll talk about that. We do want to talk about some of the injuries going around the league and some of the veteran free agents that are out there, or maybe we can even talk about some of the possible trade situations that could happen. So To start off, I mean, let's talk about the elephant in the room, and let's talk about the Deshaun Watson situation. So like Jay, you may be onto something. I don't know. Let's talk about the Deshaun Watson situation. I mean, like a lot of people don't feel that 6 games was enough, and I don't feel like it was enough. And I feel like it's a slap in the face. Ezekiel got 1 game or 6 games for 1 offense, and in my opinion, 1 offense is 1 too many. I'm not saying that, but
I totally agree.
You have but you have one guy had 1 offense, you give him 6 games. I know you had arbitrator do this one, but 5, they use 5. That's 30 games if you think about it that way.
Well, it's the document that concerned me. How is she going to use words like egregious and everything else in that letter, get to the last paragraph, and we feel like it should be 6 games? That doesn't match the tone you set in those first 2 paragraphs.
It was all lawyer talk all the way down. Bingo. And then she gets to the very end, we just felt like you can't use the word feel in lawyer talk.
Especially her being a woman. I thought her would have put a little more punishment on this. And I'm like, really? 6 games for this? I'm like, this needs to be a year. And that's why we've got people now trying to go through and appeal with certain judges to get in this thing and reappeal it. And Goodell said, I'm not going to be a part of it. And I get it. He doesn't want his name branded on this topic. And I mean, even though he's the face of the NFL, he should be a part of it. That's in my opinion.
I think he should be. But at the same time, and I know they have really done a bad job. The Ray Rice situation was just a debacle. We give him 1 or 2 games, and they try to give him more. And then he even did everything he was supposed to do, then got blackballed by the NFL, which agree or disagree. It was poorly handled, and then disciplinary. And now you look back at like marijuana, and it's like all of a sudden now that's like being less of a thing. But then you look back how many careers it's ruined, and like you guys like Kyle Turley talk about, they'll give him a fistful of Vicodin for the pain, but don't you dare smoke pot, And then so
Josh Gordon lost 25 plus games over it.
Yeah. And Josh Gordon's a hell of a talent. No, that was a great point, because Josh Gordon is a phenomenal talent, and he did it medicinally. I get it, I understand, but at the same time, like, you got to really start like balancing things out. And if your rules can't cover something like this to fix it, what are you doing? And I know you can't predict what's going to happen. You couldn't predict Aaron Hernandez is going to go murder somebody. But like, if you don't have stuff in black and white for this by now, then that makes things easier. Then your whole way you do things disciplinary is part of the problem.
There needs to be one standard set across the board for situations like this. And like what you said, they ran into the Aaron Hernandez. You can't go back and see it, but you can set a baseline for it now. And you can do that with, I mean, the marijuana thing needs to be loosened up, in my opinion, because half the states in the country are legalized.
Right.
And I don't get why I just don't get why we as veterans, we see so many VA hospitals now starting to kind of give out the VA, like the medical marijuana to help ease their pain or even with their PTSD. So, I mean, you got guys who are going through less physical contact and even with the VA, but yet you got guys in car crashes every week in the NFL, and you're not going to give them to have them a little bit like mellow their mind a little bit, calm down. Yeah. I don't know.
And it's not like, but they'll give them. My biggest problem with that on that topic is you're going to be giving them something that can ruin their liver. Put them on painkillers. Brett Favre was addicted to painkillers. Did he ever get suspended for it? Absolutely not. So I don't really.
That was the Tagliabue days.
Right. Yeah. So like, you look now with the Goodell days, like put somebody who has addiction to pills now, would they get suspended? So I really like, it's really a difficult thing. And hell, we have a coach in Miami who had a drinking problem and almost ruined his career. He got himself cleaned up, and look where he's at now. It's great. It's fantastic. And then, did they ever discipline him? No, the teams disciplined him. So I don't know. The NFL's disciplinary is like really weird. And then you get like
Gavin Ridley got a year for betting.
Right. And I'm not saying betting's okay, but an entire season, like especially for a first time offense, like, oh my God, man, it's just ridiculous. And guys, thank you for filling it or commenting. We really appreciate all the comments. Dylan, I do agree. I know it was a former judge and a female judge, so you would think, that ruling should be respected more. And there is no point in hiring her if they're not planning to adhere to it. I understand it. Almost like, yeah, we hired you, but we don't agree with it. So what's the point of having a third-party arbitrator at this point?
Yeah.
So it just like, I don't know. The whole thing's baffling to me. So.
Oh, Josh had a question about the Dolphins coach.
Good point about the Chris Forster. I actually forgot about that whole, like, it was a whole coke thing, right? So,
yep.
And it was on facility. I think he got fired and sent to rehab, but that's it. I don't even think he got suspended. I think he was allowed back. He got hired right off the bat, unless they just didn't discuss it. Huh.
No, it kind of went under it went under the carpet, so to speak. They basically rehired him, and there was other stuff going on at the time, so that's why no one ever paid attention to it.
And speaking of other stuff going on at the time with the Dolphins, and Jay, integrity of the game, the Dolphins got the Dolphins owners in a hot mess right now. He got
I'm gonna let you take the lead on this one because this is your team. Yeah.
Oh, hang on. I need another drink.
Big thing. I'm just gonna say this real quick. I know it's your team, but good.
I want an outsider's opinion on this.
Brian Flores came out and listed all these things, and there was other people to back his story. It's not just like a he said thing. There was other people to it. That's what makes it even worse. And now Ross is still denying it. I feel like maybe he has to just own up to it and just take the brunt of the damage rather than keep fighting this thing, because the Goodell and other owners will go after him all day long because of this.
Right. And Josh, yes, we were there at the Senior Bowl when the news broke that Brian Flores was going to be suing the team and this lawsuit was going to happen. He had all this evidence and all that. And I had a bad feeling in my stomach. This is going to come back to the Dolphins. Yeah. What do you say?
Dylan just said, to be fair, who wouldn't want Sean Payton and Tom Brady?
I 100% agree. And people will say, oh, well, every team tampers. I 100% agree. But Ross was pretty obvious about it. It was too duh. It was out there in everybody's face. And then he fires Flores expecting this to still work. And Flores is like, fine, screw you. I'm just going to expose you. Well, whatever.
He's always been vocal on subjects in the NFL. Why didn't he think he wasn't going to say anything?
Right. Yeah. Flores is not a guy who's afraid of anybody. And that's why I was scared with this lawsuit. It's like something's going to happen. And losing the pick next year sucks. I don't know if they're going to take the highest pick or just the Dolphins pick or whatever.
It might be your guys' pick, not the one you traded for, because they can't assess that and take the Chiefs pick from you from the Hill. No, not the Hill trade. Which trade was it? I'm sorry, folks.
It was the 49ers trade.
That's what it was.
From the previous draft. Yeah. So
gotcha.
Now we have to hope that Trey Lance has a bad starting year. We have to hope he's not like a Patrick Mahomes kind of starting
Questions are going around him, so you might get your wish.
No, but the 49ers have still been good even with Jimmy G, so dang. But I think the Dolphins believe it or not, I think they got a fair punishment. They lost a draft pick in 2024. They lost a draft pick. But so the problem is just how frustrating it is to have Ross screwing this up. He wanted Brady, great. He wanted Peyton, great. But the way he went about it just completely ruined it. Now the Dolphins are losing the pick and have nothing to show for it. It's not like they lost the pick and got Brady where it's like, whatever, we got him anyway. We got Peyton anyway. Who cares? But, it's
my issue is, why isn't Tom Brady getting punished? He was part of this whole thing. Players never get punished in tampering stuff, and it bothers me because there's two parties to it. Brady was communicating back and forth. So was Peyton. All three members of this were in works together, and Ross, wrongfully as so, he still got punished.
Right.
But Peyton and Brady, to me, should have been punished. And this isn't me saying as a Packers fan hating on Brady. This is me just saying as an NFL fan, if you're going to do it to one person, do it to all three parties connected in this triangle, because they're just as guilty. They're under contract by Tampa Bay. Sean Payton was still under contract by New Orleans. So, this technically, it's not even the teams that should get fined. It should be the individuals. The Dolphins, they lost that, but there was other people privy to Ross's ideas and thinkings to communicate to these players. So that's why I just don't see why they're not all connected.
And I 100% agree. And I know they're going to this was their chance to I was just going to destroy the phone again. But this is their chance to punish an owner, because you saw with Robert Kraft, he really didn't get punished. He made that disappear. So they had a chance to punish an owner, and they took advantage of it. I can't be mad at the NFL for that. And Stephen Ross has done stupid things like this before. We remember years ago he had Tony Sparano under contract, was trying to get Jim Harbaugh to come there. Jim Harbaugh wanted nothing to talk about that job while there's somebody holding that job. And that was in the public eye back in the day. And that's when we had like forums. We really didn't have Twitter back then. Imagine how if Twitter was big then like it is now, that would have been blown up. But everybody knew it. It was even on the media. And Harbaugh said, I'm not interested in talking about that job while someone's holding that position. Then he made up with Sproul, gave him a contract, and then fired him the next year. So Ross has always been sloppy with this stuff. And honestly, thinking about it, it's been years in the making since he bought the team. Like this is like
Do you think he'll sell if he's pressured enough?
If he's pressured enough, yeah. But I mean, the buyer's already there anyway. I mean, he already has Bruce Beal. It's already approved by the league. So, and Bruce Beal, who originally was suspended for the entire season, now he's just barred from going to any owners' meetings for the rest of the season, for all of the season. So, yeah. Maybe the owners say, you know what, you just nullified your deal, Bruce Beal. Now you have to find another person to buy. So I don't know. I think if they pressure him enough, they could. And the owners are kind of like, hey, you just kind of gave away what we do, so this is on you. Like we're going to push you out. So, Eric with the update. Raiders just scored a touchdown.
Thank you, Eric.
Appreciate that. Since we can't watch, my app isn't working.
You can't just say Raiders TD. Come on, tell us who it is.
Tell us about
which practice squad guy.
Let us know. Well, everybody's wild. They want to get their fantasy team right.
Yeah, because these guys that are playing right now are going to make a ton of difference.
Before we forget, guys, make sure you like, subscribe, give us a follow. I'm Brett Legassi 67. Dave, what is your handle again? Steak and Cheese?
It is at Steak and Cheese instead of the like steak and cheese type thing. It's Steak and Cheese, STEG letter N cheese.
Man.
Yeah,
13-0 Raiders already. Dang.
I mean, it's the Jaguars.
Well, those poor Jaguars. I have a good friend in the Jaguars.
Jimmy, my buddy, this former player, Jimmy Smith from the Jags, is going to kill me. He's going to text me after. He's going to be like, did you just talk trash about my Jaguars?
Amir Abdullah, 8-yard touchdown run. Oh,
yeah.
Amir Abdullah. I haven't heard his name.
He's still alive?
Yeah, he's still in the league. What's going on here? This is definitely preseason. Guys, do not look for him in fantasy.
I totally forgot about Amir Abdullah. I'm like, wait, what? Am I Lions back 6 years ago? What happened?
Dude, he's 29. I actually didn't realize he was that. I actually, for some reason, thought he would have been in his 30s. I feel like he's been in the league forever.
Hey, speaking of injuries and possibly staying in the league, maybe we should go over some of these league injuries that are starting to affect it, man.
Yes, let's go. So, I mean, the big one. I think there's two big ones that I've.
There's a couple, yeah.
I think Tim Patrick of the Broncos. I think that one's going to hurt. He was really coming to his own. Took some pressure.
Russ and him had a connection in OTAs and camp. People were raving about those two.
He's got good size too. Like he was turning into a receiver in it's ACL, I believe. So brought the freshman team. Isn't that their team?
They're a high school varsity team. Sorry.
Yeah, why would you put Jacobs out there to start the game? They must be trying to trade him.
They put Jacobs out there?
Yeah, in the Hall of Fame game? Oh, man, I wouldn't have done that. I'm surprised at
that. Okay, so what does that tell you about the Raiders depth chart and what Josh McDaniels views at? Do you think Zamir White is a possible pickup?
Oh, possibly, yeah. You never know. Yeah,
so
that's a good point.
Another league injury, James Washington for the Dallas Cowboys is a biggie, in my opinion, because they replaced him, or they picked him up to replace Michael Gallup being injured and Amari Cooper leaving. So now CD is all by himself. He has a tight end in Schultz, but they drafted a couple rookies, and I mean that's fine. But James Washington was supposed to be your medium grade free agent signing to help be that wide receiver too until Gallup gets back and. They are down to one wide receiver right now that can really make a difference on that team.
And they lost their depth in Cedric Williams. So or Wilson. So like that does hurt their depth. Man, they went from a pretty solid wide receiver group last year to pretty thin right now. Man, that I actually didn't even hear about the James Washington injury, so that sucks.
You didn't hear about that?
No, that's the one I didn't hear about. That happened
he's
just
out
yesterday.
6 to 10 weeks, yeah. So he's going to be out possibly all the way into about a third way through the season.
So I can see them looking at another someone who's on the outs looking in. Jalen Tolbert. So we saw him at the Senior Bowl. Dave, did you go to the Senior Bowl at all?
I did not. I wanted to, but I didn't get the chance. Work, family, dad life, or hashtag dad life.
Been there 10 years.
Jalen Tolbert, I've heard really good things about. But the thing is he's a rookie. He's coming in. These are established guys. Like James Washington has been in the league for a bit. Gallup being hurt still hurts. I mean,
Yeah.
Cooper leaving, that to me still was the most mind-boggling trade ever. Like, I know it happened a while ago, but I still got to bring it up. Like, a 5th-round pick, this dude produced year in and year out for you in Dallas, and you just ship him off for nothing? Okay, yeah, there was a price tag you got to pay, but look at what the receivers just got paid for. Terry McLaurin, DK Metcalf, all these guys got paid. So why isn't Jerry shelling out the money when he has it? Because this is weird. Dallas has money right now. It's weird. Jerry usually spends every nickel and dime he's got. So now hell's frozen over because Jerry Jones doesn't want to spend money. It's weird.
Well, I agree with that. Maybe he was saving the money for CD Lamb because he knows he's going to have to pay him. I see Jalen Tolbert. He's got some ability. I wouldn't rely on a rookie. I don't really rely on rookies and think I'm good. I got this rookie, but he might be a solid piece. But he's not Gallup. I think Gallup's explosive and a good receiver.
Yeah. Gallup came back last year and was just big play after big play after big play, and I'm like, this is what they've been missing. And then he gets hurt again.
Yeah, and it's so unfortunately for Dallas, Gallup, I think, is going to be that guy who's good, gives them big plays, but always injured. And then you look at TJ Vasher, that might not be a bad film, but I mean, nothing's really getting you excited. I mean, if it wasn't for Dak being able to run around, I mean, it just kind of scary room. But I mean, at least CD Lamb is a good receiver, and he's been proven to be good, but it's going to be hard. They don't even have a tight end to really threaten anything right now either.
Dalton Schultz. Dalton's pretty good, man. They franchise tagged him. He signed his deal. I like Dalton.
True. Well, that's fair enough. I mean, if you're good enough to franchise tag, I mean, at tight end. So, it's a solid tight end room.
Josh Wingate just mentioned Gallup will be back in October. Yeah, it's a rough. That's around the time he should be back. But that's behind the eight ball. If they get 4 or 5 games possibly behind Philly, then I mean, I'm not saying they're going to come out and go 0-5, but if they get 3 or 4 games behind Philly, the way Philly's looking right now on paper, I mean, they may get ahead and Dallas may not have a chance to catch the division. So I'm just saying that kind of slow start can hurt them. Yeah. I'm not saying that it's a be-all, kill-all season, but you still got Will. And jumping to the next one, Will Fuller, T.Y. Hilton, OBJ still out there, and Julio Jones was just recently signed. I can't believe Dallas didn't make a move for him.
Eric McGuire here said Emmanuel Sanders, T.Y. Hilton, Cole Beasley, Will Fuller. I mean, Cole Beasley probably makes the
Dallas
most sense.
Reunion. Let's do it.
Yeah, I would love to see that because, I mean, he could be definitely a security blanket for Dak. Having him back, that would be really good for Dallas because Cole Beasley just does that dirty work.
He's a good slot receiver. He goes in, does all the underneath routes, run blocks. He's solid there.
Just the constant turn to a pick you apart, and then CD can be the big play. I think one of the biggest injuries, though, has to be Ryan Jensen of the Buccaneers. Because, I mean, he's that, like, attitude on the up front. And him going down, I mean, Tristan Wirfs has been good.
Who's your anchor point? It's a rough thing.
And honestly, the offensive line's been good. Tristan Wirfs been nasty and been a hell of a pick, but Ryan Jensen's that glue that holds that entire O-line together. So losing him is not going to be good.
The other guard left in free agency. The entire interior offensive line
is new.
Is all going to be new. And Tom, we don't listen. He's the go. I'm not knocking him. The guy's done everything. He's the go. But when Tom gets pressure in his face, doesn't matter if it's coming from the blind side, but if it's in his face, he gets rattled. Oh my God. Like you can start seeing him frustrating, cursing in the helmet. Like he hates getting people in his face. And if you get it up that center guard area, straight up the holes, oh my God, that's the biggest thing. So, I mean, we're definitely going to see it because Dallas, they added Parsons and they got Barr. So, I mean, week 1, they might be a good formula to go after Brady up the middle.
Exactly. And we saw Atlanta was not a team that was just a pushover up the middle. Carolina's got a pretty stout defensive front, so and the Saints, they will attack you up the middle on defense. So I'm not really, if I'm Tom Brady, I'm a little nervous about this middle of the offensive line. And J.C. Tretter's available. Now, the Browns cut him without like a true answer that I'm aware of. And a lot of people have mentioned his knees could be shot. And Tretter was a pretty good center in the league. And
he was top 5, top 10 ever since he left Green Bay.
Yeah. And no one's kicked the tires on him that I'm aware of. I think a couple people have him for a visit, and that's it. So I don't know why he's still available and why Tampa Bay hasn't made that call yet and why he's not signed. But if he makes a visit to Tampa Bay and leaves without a contract and never signs there, I don't know that he'll sign. Yeah, it reminds me of we talked about this before the show. It reminds me of Schwartz. He retired this year because everybody thought he was going to sign last year with somebody late in the season, but it's just his back never got better, and he felt like it was time to retire. So Treader, if he doesn't sign with the Buccaneers, I think his career could be over. Maybe it's a health thing. I'm not sure.
Man, I'd love to see Treader come back, but it's all about too. He knows this caliber of play when he's healthy, and is Tampa going to pony up for that type of top center to add in, because he knows they're in a position they need someone right now to come in and at least know the basics, and Treader can do that. So now that's that whole battle. Is he healthy enough? Can he be paid enough? And it's ironically enough, they just kind of spent a good bit of their cap on Julio and what they had left to go spend on him. I think it was $6 million guaranteed and another $2 million in bonuses if he meets that. So Julio's contract for 1 year was a pricey one, and then boom, your center goes down. It's just weird how things happen like that. And I got to add in another injury. We just talked about this before the show. It's nothing confirmed. It's a rumor floating around, folks, but it's flying everywhere like wildfire. Yeah. And McVay's being pelted left and right at press conferences before, after practice. Even if he's going out for interviews somewhere, Stafford okay? Is his arm okay? He's supposedly got tendonitis or another form of it in his elbow. And then I've seen some people talk about how possibly he might need Tommy John surgery. Like, this is serious. This could swing the entire fate of the Rams if he gets a Tommy John surgery. If not, he, like you said, Brett, earlier before the show, he's played with elbow issues for years in Detroit, going into LA. We know he's a warrior. We watched the guy win a game with a broken collarbone coming in a touchdown when he was younger. The guy's a warrior. He can play through anything. But this is a big thing right now. Because I've heard the same reports as Stafford's having trouble slinging the ball in camp. And if he's having trouble slinging the ball in camp, then there's obviously an issue. So we're 4 or 5 weeks out from regular season starting.
Right. So, and if he goes out, that's an entire year, right? So
yeah, Tommy John's 12 months.
He's 34 now. He just turned 34 in February. So basically, if I'm Matt Stafford, I want to make that decision early. I don't want to play with that. I know he's a warrior. He's tough. He'll battle through it. But we saw what Roethlisberger was with that elbow. He was
dirt balls 5 yards short of every receiver.
Good Lord. Like, he looked bad. Like, if I told people before Ben Roethlisberger is one of the best quarterbacks drafted in the last 20 years, and they watch that, like, where? Because I just see a bad quarterback. But so I would hate to see Stafford go out on a low note like that. Like, Stafford's been like such a respected quarterback dealing with what he's dealt with his entire career. I mean, hell, you're a Packers fan talking highly of him. You know what I mean? Like Stafford, I don't know how you cannot like the guy. He's always been tough. And then, but this injury, I'd rather him go out and miss this year. We just won a Super Bowl, miss this season, get that surgery, be healthy, and let's ready to go in 2020.
Yeah, Donald's in town. You know, he just signed his extension. So you know he's going to be there when you come back, at least for that next year. But I mean, the 49ers ain't going to trade Jimmy G to the Rams,
right?
Knowing their quarterback just went down. So
they might be friends, but they ain't close that like that.
Yeah, right. Like, there's no other QB out there that can. Hey, I got one. Oh God, Packer fans are going to kill me for this. Jordan Love, baby, trade Jordan Love. Trade Jordan Love out there.
Yeah, but of all people to trade him to, I'd be afraid to trade him to McVay.
Yeah, he'd probably make it work somehow, and I'd be so pissed, and it'd be karma, because I've been the one ragging on Jordan Love ever since he got traded in Packers networks and everything else. I have been the guy saying, I'm not feeling it. I don't think Love's going to be the guy. And everyone keeps saying, like, man, just give him time. He's only played one game. And I just don't know, man. I'm just not a big fan of him. But yeah, I'm rabbit holing. But yeah, the Stafford injury, it swings the NFC completely, because you're taking a Super Bowl winning quarterback out of play. You're shifting it back to the Bucs, basically, the Packers, Eagles, like all those teams. You're shifting it back to it of what it was before Stafford got there. And now you got to think, like, Allen Robinson joined the Rams to go there to play with Stafford, and Aaron Donald extended because Matthew Stafford was there. And now OBJ was talking about going back because Matthew Stafford was there. And
now imagine if Stafford goes out with injury. Now you lost OBJ coming back. For a 1 year rental, that is. Maybe a 2-3 year deal, but not on a 1 year deal. Because OBJ can go somewhere else. But when he gets he should be healthy near the end of the season. So he'll be healthy enough to have somebody push. But at that point, he's picking which team he wants to go to. So that changes some things too.
He's kind of that. He's kind of in that place where teams are going to be kind of like swaying him to come here type stuff. Mm-hmm. But it's going to affect it. And there's a lot. And you know what? Speaking of OBJ and the free agents left out there, I know we touched on wide receivers. I mean, even edge rushers. JPP is out there. Justin Houston's still out there. I mean, what's going on? I know they're waiting for the right team, but usually these players are in camp by now. There's never this.
Yeah.
Oh, God, did I just read that, Dylan? Really? Really? Do you know how bad the Rams would look? Les Snead would rather rot in his own grave than trade back for Jared Goff.
No, that's not happening.
No. No. I can't believe.
Could you imagine?
Dylan
my
just
God.
Put me into that. Damn it.
Oh, God.
If that happened, Detroit, I don't know if they would cheer or what, because, I mean, they've been hyping him up this offseason saying Goff can be the difference. And I don't know. Like, I still don't believe he is for Detroit, but the Rams literally traded him away like a Brock Osweiler. Like, here's these first round picks, but we're going to give you a player too. Just take him. We don't want him. We don't care.
I can't. I just don't see I don't see Matt Stafford sitting out the year. I don't see him doing it. I see him being like, if it happens,
be smart about it. That's my only thing.
Knock on wood. I really don't want to see this happen, but the only way I think he goes out is if he gets injured playing. Like if he gets hurt and they give him that, like, dude, you're either going to get surgery but I think McVay is the kind of guy that would force him to sit down and say, look, you're not playing. I'm not going to play you. McVay is smart enough to know.
Yeah.
That arm's not good. Something's not right.
He did it with Gurley with his knees. Gurley wanted to play, but he had to bench Gurley and said, dude, you can't do that to yourself. You're not going to bust both your knees out. And while I'm watching you play football in front of you, this is not going to happen.
Exactly. So that's why CJ Anderson took more snaps, and he had a committee of backs then. So, like, that's actually a great point. So McVay cares about his players, not just because, we're not going to win with Stafford like that, but because, dude, you're no good to the team or yourself if your elbow isn't good. So, I don't see Stafford like going out unless he's forced to. And I mean, I'd hate to see him get hurt.
That mentality, yeah.
Right. He's 34, and I would hate for him to get hurt to the point where it's like it's over. That because we've talked about it before. He has that baseball style throw. He throws hard all the time. He's banging on his elbow all the time. And Eric says he got a PRP injection. So maybe that will help. We'll see.
What is that? Where they take your plasma or some crap out of your body, spin it, and then put it back in, or whatever?
Yeah, I guess it kind of helped with the inflammation and all. I don't know what it's supposed to do, but
I mean, if you got tendonitis and you're getting that type of injury to your elbow, where even the words Tommy John have been mentioned,
right?
It's pretty serious. I mean, like you said earlier, Ben, he was dirting. Well, I mean, I mentioned he was dirting balls 5 yards, literally off the line.
Yeah.
And I watched him before that surgery. Man, I watched him roll out in the flat. He had Deontay Johnson crossing. No joke. Just literally just threw it.
I saw that one.
And it was a first down. I think they were playing the Dolphins.
Dude, it was as easy as it got. And I watched. I was like, what did I just see? Like, he was wide open. Like, that should be an easy pitch and catch. But, all right. So
platelet-rich plasma. Ooh. Does Eric have like a dictionary here by him waiting to like?
So that
was the quickest answer ever.
He's an athletic director of a high school, so he deals with the injuries all the time. He deals with talking to trainers, and he worked for a rehabilitation center for a little bit. So he has familiarity with NFL or with injuries of the athletes and stuff. So he gets out of time. So it's a good thing to have. Also, just a shout out. When I was doing Diamond State scouting, Eric was the one doing the database a lot for us, puts that together for college scouting. So he puts a database together so we know all the names and stuff. So Eric's like, he's awesome. So he's like on top of the stuff.
I'm nicknaming him the Guru from now on. He's
the Guru. Eric. You got a nickname.
Eric, all love, buddy. The Guru. That's all you can do, man.
But, yeah. So, like, I'll say this from a personal standpoint. As a veteran who had tendonitis in both my wrists and hands and carpal tunnel, it doesn't get better. Like, I've had injections. I've had the steroid shots, and when the needle basically goes to the bone and it's a painful shot, and it never gets better. And the more I use them, I'm a mechanic now. As a mechanic in the Air Force, I still work on stuff and take stuff apart.
Thank you,
my
Eric.
hand hurts. Thanks, Eric. We appreciate that. And my hands hurt, like just doing simple tasks sometimes. So for Matthew Stafford, just playing football, it's never going to get better. So you might as well get the surgery. At least give yourself a chance before it gets worse. And Tommy John surgery has been successful in baseball for a long time. So just get it.
But it's that year. You have to sit out that year.
And I'm sure he's got injury protections in his contract. I'm sure that's taken care of, especially with getting a guy who's been banged up through his career and been a warrior. Dude, you won a Super Bowl. I know the mentality is I won a Super Bowl, I'm done, let's move on, but you want to win another one. But dude, like, I know you got the window of the team right now, but I mean, shit, take care of yourself too.
Yeah, I mean, so I'm just trying to think of it is how much would he have to play through before McVay pulls it? How much? How would you like? What kind of production? Not production. How much negative play would McVay have to see for that? Because I'm thinking in my head, like he knows how Stafford throws the ball. So if he's coming out and he's shorting balls or he's putting too much power on it, trying to throw through his arm because he knows there's a problem, like how much? When do you finally say you're pulling a Super Bowl winning quarterback for your team you just had last year? That's got to be one of the toughest decisions as a coach.
I think that is a tough decision because now you're trying to protect the player from himself, but you want to reassure him like it's not football. I'm worried about you more than anything. Like I don't want you to like get hurt any more than you already have. Like it's a decision that you don't want to see a guy who's like battles week in, week out. His entire career has been him just toughening through injuries and just being this Iron Man. And now you had to sit down with him and say, dude, stop being Iron Man. Go get the surgery. Like everybody's vulnerable. And telling a guy who's put the armor on and has battled and telling him, hey, it's okay to be vulnerable at this point. That's not an easy conversation to have. And it's not, he might not accept it. So,
and remember, Andrew Whitworth retired. He doesn't have his bookend left tackle he's used to having last year either.
Hey, it might be a good time for him to go ahead and get that surgery so he doesn't get hurt. I think that's what I would say. Like, dude, because if you don't get the surgery now and you get injured, it could end your career or it could be even worse than right now. I'm all about like, just go ahead and get the surgery. And who knows, maybe you're back by the end of the year.
And then, like I said, this isn't me being a Packer fan hating on Matt. I want Matt to be healthy. I want to face Stafford and the Rams because I'm just going to say it out there, Rams fans, if you're watching, Packers fans have your number at Lambeau Field. Every time you come there the last 3 years, especially with Stafford last year, we got your number, man. You won the Super Bowl, but I'm going to go ahead and I want Matthew Stafford at his 100%. I always loved watching him play in Green Bay or when we're at Detroit. Man, the guy just gave it his all, and him and Megatron gave us fits for years. And it was always, they were never out of it. They could be down by 2 touchdowns and 80-yard touchdown, 75-yard touchdown, overtime. And it's just ridiculous the way those two would work. And even Stafford, when he had Megatron post his career, he had other guys and he was still producing. So, and I'm not trying to rabbit hole. I'm just trying to go ahead and give Stafford his due. The guy
I want to say something.
How long there?
Since this is the NFL show, I want to touch on something real quick.
Okay.
I absolutely love the Packers, 49ers, and Rams like rivalry with those 3 coaches that have coached together for a while that come from the same coaching tree.
It's that Shanahan coaching tree, man. I love it.
It's kind of fun watching them in the playoffs because the 49ers had the Rams number for so long, and now the Rams finally got over that hump. And like you said, the Packers had the Rams number. So it's kind of fun.
The 49ers had the Packers number.
Yeah, I mean, dude, it's great. Like, these guys know each other so well, so you can say, oh, the Packers got Rodgers, they're going to beat the 49ers. I said that. And then the 49ers like, no, we got that answered. So it's like, it makes it really entertaining to watch during the playoffs. And as a Dolphins fan, I don't know what it's like to have skin in the game in the playoffs or have a legit chance.
Mike McDaniel is allowing you guys to have that offense, and you see it's successful right now. I mean, Arthur Smith is going to run it in Atlanta, and he did with Matt Ryan last year. It wasn't pretty, but Atlanta won a lot of games last year they weren't supposed to be.
Hey, they beat us, and I'm going to tell you something. That Arthur Smith I think he's an underappreciated coach.
He learned from LaFleur in Tennessee. He was one of those disciples of that offense, And Kevin O'Connell went to Minnesota from Sean McVay. He's another one. This Shanahan offense is spreading like wildfire. And Robert Saleh taking Mike LaFleur out there, New York Jets. That's another team that's having it.
And I watched
this offense is nuts. Yeah,
the way they practiced at the Senior Bowl, it was so organized and fun. You could tell the players were having a good time. The drills were like good drills, and some of the drills were like, let's just have a little bit of fun with it. But you're still getting reps in, and you could just tell it was like so organized. And I was like, man, that's actually impressive. And just that coaching tree that the systems that they run was just really fun to watch. And like I really like that going across the league. These young guys that are what the offense we grew up with the Shanahan system was different than the West Coast offense. It was its own version of the West Coast, and now it's even different than what it was. We watched Gary Kubiak have a lot of success with that with Houston for years, but it's even adapted where it's more creative, it's more fun, it's more juice. Like it's even Andy Reid, like his version of the West Coast is not the same as that, but like. It's really fun watching Andy Reid just take and pull different plays from different eras and just add it to his offense. Then you got these young guys doing the same thing. It's just really fun. It makes the league more fun when there's more competitiveness. And that's why I like watching the NFC playoffs like with those three. That's why I mentioned that, because it's no longer just the Patriots running it every year. You know, like there's a lot more competition. It's a lot more
bet you're
fun.
happy saying that as a Dolphins fan.
Oh, yeah. Hell yeah. I'm happy even saying that. Because
Bill Belichick just heard us, and he's about to go into the Super Bowl run. Watch.
Damn it.
Jake Plummer, Jake the Snake. Oh, what a mention by Dylan. Yes.
Oh, Jake Plummer. Oh, yeah. Actually, he did.
The guy that fell off the planet.
The guy that pushed Brian Greasy out, the Miami Sun. And we got Brian Greasy. What did he say?
Eric put a paragraph up there. Holy heck yeah, Eric.
Hell yeah.
Football's back. Huddle up and wait. I love it, baby.
Oh, yeah. He's got a football camp in high school tomorrow.
Love it.
Cheers to that. I just cracked up another beer for you. So, I mean, we talked about some injuries, some the other thing we got to touch on, maybe some free agents that are still out there. We touched on a little bit with like J.C. Treader. Eric mentioned like good.
I'm going to go ahead and bring it up. I'm going to say it again. Justin Houston, JPP.
Yeah.
JPP was a defensive end for the Bucs who produced for the last couple of years. He wouldn't fall off. The guy's produced. And even if he didn't get the sacks last year, the guy is one of the best run defenders in the league. He's so not, long.
Right. He's not TJ Watt, but he gets the job done. So and Melvin Ingram, who I like, it got signed by the Dolphins later in free agency. I was expecting JPP or Justin Houston to get signed. But I will say those guys typically get signed before the start of the season.
I want JPP as a Packers outside linebacker edge behind Gary and Preston, or at least to alternate all three and just literally have fresh rushers. Yeah. I mean, JPP is a whole different type of animal from Preston Smith and Gary, and you can be able to do more things there. But that's who I would want. I wouldn't mind Justin Houston. I know a couple Packers fans like him, but another guy that's on the market, and Sue is still producing. And
but the thing with Ndamukong Suh, he's the kind of guy, he'll pick his shots.
Yeah, I know. He does his own agency too. Yeah, he does his own contracts.
And he's intelligent with, like, you can come to him, but he's not interested. He's taking his time. He won a Super Bowl now, but he's always said when he signed the Dolphins, he's business first. So he's going to take that approach. So he's going to take his time. When he finds the right situation, he'll jump on. He's probably going to wait, kind of bandwagon it. Who's got the best run? And I'm probably going to go with them. I think the Broncos might make sense for him, honestly.
You know who I was actually thinking for the Broncos is T.Y. Hilton with Tim Patrick going out.
Oh, that's a good pickup.
Tim had that long outside route he always does. He does a lot of slants. T.Y. would be perfect for there. But the question is, can his health hold up?
Right. And
that's my big question about T.Y. anywhere.
I was thinking Emmanuel Sanders there, but T.Y. could make a lot of sense there too. So, yeah, I mean, Emmanuel Sanders fits that role that Russell Wilson likes with receivers. And also,
he's getting old. He's getting old.
It's true. But I really am curious with Jerry Jeudy with Russell Wilson, because Jerry Jeudy is very similar to plays very similar to how Doug Baldwin played, I think.
Yeah.
So, and what was the other receiver they had?
Cortland Sutton. Oh, for Seattle?
For Seattle.
They had Tyler Lockett and Doug Baldwin. Those were their two they usually ran with. And then they also had David Moore, which was that wide receiver 3.
Well, before that, they had a kid out of Washington that was undrafted. I forgot his name. Russell Wilson went to him a lot. I can't remember. But anyway, he fits in that mold of them. And I could see him just like, I think Russell Wilson would make the best of that wide receiver room. But still having Sutton's good.
Did you see what Dylan said? He said, "Here's my thing with Tyron Johnson on Las Vegas. Don't wear number 1 if you suck."
You know what? I got.
Don't make fun of Las Vegas Raiders Brucey from Longest Yard, okay? Stop it. That's mean, Dylan.
I gotta agree though. If you're gonna wear number 1, you better be good because that's I don't know.
Well, what's up with Tua? Why isn't he being good?
Damn it! I'm gonna drink a beer. I'll save that. If you want me to answer that from Dave, I'll talk about that Monday on Vince Talk Overtime, which I'm still doing, by the way.
I'm going to bring up one more subject before we possibly head out here. I've got to bring it up. It's a surprise one.
Ooh, Brett, I like it.
NFL wide, who is your one team that no one's talking about right now? They aren't giving enough attention to. Homer the Dolphins, I don't care, but just I'm saying, just if you felt some team isn't getting respect enough, I want to hear it.
That they're gonna win,
no, not win, but possibly be a dark horse wild card team. Or heck, make a run. Who knows? I mean, if you feel that way, go ahead and bring them up. I want to see what you think. What team is out there that might make a run?
So we know, man. All right. So you got the obvious ones like the Bills, obviously going to run it back. The Chiefs, but if you're talking a dark horse team, I still think the Chargers are going to make a lot of noise. I think the Chargers are going to be one hard team to stop. I think people
really
are talking
wanted Herbert, didn't you?
No, I got it. I really did. No, but God, that defense is good. Their run game is good. You know, they have the weapons. They have that defense is really good. And I really think what they're going to do with their coaching staff, I think they're going to be hard to stop. And I'm getting caught on the Justin Herbert thing. Of course, I love Justin Herbert, but if I had to pick a team, I really think the Chargers are going to be the most hard to stop. Although a team playing tonight, not the Jaguars, come on, the Raiders. I think the Raiders are actually going to be better than people think.
Trevor Lawrence is disrespected.
Oh God, I want Trevor Lawrence to be so good, but it's not happening.
Doug Peterson may turn it around. He did it with Nick Foles.
Yeah, you never know. Houston, I don't see it.
Do you think the beard is going to get it done? I think they need a couple more pieces. Davis Mills, he showed flashes last year, not with a bunch around him. Now he's got a solid running back behind him.
I heard he's having a heads up or having a hell of a camp right now, too. I heard he's
Did you hear the troll that his mom, by his mom, they did on him?
No.
She said that he should go out for advertising for turtlenecks because of his long ass neck. And I'm like, his mom said that?
That's great. Are they going to bring back the starter turtlenecks? Remember back in the day?
Please.
Turtleneck with the logos on them? You used to wear them under the jerseys.
Please. Yes. Bring it back. Please. Davis Mills, do it. Bring it back. If you're going to watch the show, bring it back.
Although that was probably before he was born, but whatever.
I mean, but Houston, it's a fun team because you got some weapons there. You got Brandon Cooks, Nico Collins. You got some guys there that can make a difference. You got a solid young tight end group that can do it, but I just don't. I got to see some more. They picked up a good corner, good safety. They got a couple decent defensive linemen. They can be scrappy for sure, but I don't think Houston's going to be that team that makes me go, ugh. I saw
right now.
Who said Tennessee? Eric said Tennessee. Is he a Titans fan?
Kind of. He's a Cowboys fan, but growing up, he had a family in Texas, so he was an Oilers. He watched the Oilers too. So,
so they broke his heart and went to Tennessee.
Yeah, he's always kind of followed them, but yeah.
So Tennessee,
Philly is a team. I got another one.
Philly's loaded though. They're not really a sleeper because they went and bought everyone in free agency.
Yeah,
they drafted well. They traded for other players and
they had the number one run game last year.
Right, and their offensive line is still good. I can't say Philly's a sleeper. I
don't want to say I'm a sleeper, but I'll tell you a team that might surprise some people. Actually, might just come out of nowhere. I'm not saying they're going to go on a run. I think the Giants might actually be a surprise team.
Oh, you and I heavily disagree.
Yeah, I actually
Daniel Jones.
So, I don't think it's because of Daniel Jones. I think it's because of Brian Daboll and what they have on offense there. And last year, so my boss is a Giants fan, and him and I talked a lot. And I was like, the Giants defense is not bad. It's not terrible.
No, it's a solid defense.
It's solid. They do their job. And I think the defense was good enough if the offense could score points that they could win some more games and be a solid team.
It requires Daniel Jones to do his job, and it doesn't work.
But I just wonder if with Brian Daboll, if they push it and have a good run game, and then have some sneaky good weapons there too. So I'm just curious. I think they could be. I think they might surprise some people. I don't think they're going to be great or anything like that. I don't think they're going to go on a run, but I think they might be better than people giving them credit for.
My buddy watching the show just texted me. He goes, newfound respect for you, man, with the kegerator in the man cave.
I think that's a badass touch. I mean, I got 2 beers, so I guess I need to step it up. I need to bring a cooler in here.
I got this 3 years ago, so it was funny story on the side. My wife kind of surprised me, and we were moving in the house, and there was this room I'm in now. My man cave is like up over the garage. It's like a loft type thing, and nice. Sure enough, she told me, "Oh, that's your man cave," and I'm like, "What?" And I thought it was gonna be like a spare bedroom type thing for people staying. No, she let me have it, and I got a 70-inch TV, all Packer stuff and everything in here. Big old
that's awesome.
And but I told her, I'm like, if I'm gonna have a man cave, I'm getting a kegerator. Like I grew up with one at my grandfather's camp all the time. I used to take beers out of that thing when I was especially a young teenager, and so I blame you, Grandpa. That's my fault right there for my heavy drinking. No, and it reminds me of growing up with him and having that kegerator. But I found one on Black Friday. This thing, I love this thing, man. It's a full-size kegerator where you can fit a full half keg in there all the way in, and I stack beers on top. I put liquor in there, plenty of room, and I got it for $250, and it usually rolled for about $470. So I grab that, set it up, and I go down to the liquor store and swap out kegs maybe every 4 or 5 months.
That's perfect for this show, man, because it's just 2 dudes talking that are veterans, and what do we do after work? Crack open a beer.
Dude, nothing is better than coming home to dinner and going to pour fresh draft beer and ice cold. It just hits. Yeah, bottles and cans are nice, but man, that draft beer with a high CO2 you set, it's different.
All right, so I need a kegerator.
Hey, kegfactory.com on Black Friday. They mark everything down.
Well, let's see if we can get them to sponsor our show. So, guys, that's going to be it for the show for us. Thanks for tuning in. We really appreciate it, guys. Thanks for commenting. Dylan, Eric, Josh, we appreciate all you guys. Jay, really appreciate you. We go back a little bit.
Appreciate everyone. Yeah, we all 3 were together at the brawl way back when.
Way back.
Not giving a shout out to that.
No.
I'm just saying.
Giving a shout out to our time.
Yes, we were camaraderie back then.
Yes, sir. So we really appreciate you guys. We'll be doing this every Thursday, same time, same place, same beard, same beer. All right, maybe different beer. So tune in. We just want to give a shout out to our sponsor. We're sponsored by Fable Beard Company. Click the link below. It's in our description. Check out the products and use code FINSTALK15 to get 15% off. And you guys can have some beautiful beards too.
See this bounce? There you go. Don't get that everywhere.
Although I do have to get some touch of gray. I have a natural touch of gray. Guys, thank you. That's going to be it for us. We appreciate everything. Until next time, I'm Brett Legassi67. That's Dave Steak and Cheese.
Huddle up and wait, baby.
Yes, sir. See y'all next week.